Hey everyone, Jason here, and I'm back with another Nano Coaster video. Today we're going to be doing Tornado from Adventureland in Altoona, Iowa, just outside of Des Moines. This kit is available from the park for $34.99. It's one of two kits that are available there, this and Munster both. Not available online anywhere, so you will have to pick it up at the park or maybe pick it up on eBay. But I'm really excited to do this one. The Tornado is an old wooden coaster that I kind of went into with low expectations, but it's actually really good. Has a lot of really nice forces, and it's a lot smoother than you think it might be based on its age. But let's jump right in and get to it. Now within the kit there are four things. You have the base plate, a single sheet of instructions, it's just single-sided, a tip sheet telling you how to cut stuff out, and then track. This one is relatively small. It looks like there's just 4 track pieces here along with a sign and a station. Another thing, if you've seen some of my other videos, I've always said that I believe that the coasters that have a wood lattice structure are easier to make look nice. I just think there's a little bit more heft in bending it, and so you're not going to be getting as many small kinks in it, and it's really probably going to come together a lot easier. So the first step when you're assembling one of these kits is going to be to remove this blue film from it. Now this is kind of a new one for me. This one actually came with a lot of the blue film on the back here already removed. There's actually a big chunk of it missing completely. It wasn't even in the box, so it's not that it's just peeled off, but there's actually a big chunk missing. I don't know if that was from the manufacturing process that it got torn off, or if maybe someone at the park had opened it and done something. I don't know, but ultimately it's the bottom, and also it looks just fine, so we're not going to make a big deal about it. So we peeled that off on the bottom. On the top, it's going to be 2 pieces here. There's going to be the piece inside the track structure and the piece on the outside. Because the entire track layout is engraved in it, you do have to peel off both pieces individually because it is cut. And it is going to tear because it gets a little bit narrow here in the middle. This is just a simple out and back coaster, but like I said, it's a really good ride. So there we've peeled off the inside, and now we'll peel off the outside really quick. So there we have the base plate with all of the plastic peeled off. Now if you've seen my other kits, you know that something I like to do is to add a logo to the base plate. There is a sign here that has the Tornado logo, and it's just a portion of the Tornado logo. So if you look at the box here, you'll notice there is a tornado above and below the words, or behind it, I guess. Really, they weren't able to do that on the sign. I do have an SVG of that entire logo with the tornado above and below it, down below, that you can download if you want. For my base plate here, I actually just did the text as well. I tried to cut out the entire thing. The tornado portions didn't work, so I actually just peeled them away. There's also not a lot of blank space. As you can see, this is a very narrow base plate as is. So really the only 2 places you can put it is here next to the station building or in the turnaround. I think I'm actually going to put it here next to the station building. I don't know, I've kind of gone back and forth. I think it'll look a little bit better at the station building. I think the track is going to be a little bit shorter there, so you may be able to see it. This sign will probably not be super visible just because of just the way the base plate is. There's not any really wide areas on the outside that you can kind of fit it in. But we're just going to peel this away. Like I said, I cut this on my Cricut. There is an SVG down below of the entire logo. If you just want the tornado, you can remove, or if you just want the words, you can remove the tornado portion and just leave the words there. But right here, like I said, we have just the word tornado. So I'm going to come over here by the station area and make sure we don't overlap any of the track or the station specifically, and just kind of put this word mark here in the base plate. Peel away my transfer tape, and there we have the Tornado logo. So now the next step here is going to be to cut out the track. So with the chip sheet, it tells you to use a pair of nail clippers. Here I have a pair of flush edge wire cutters. They sell these for jewelry, for crafts, for cutting wires. Really anything will work. I do have a link to these ones on Amazon down below. Here you can see on the track there's these little tabs all the way around it. We just simply want to go cut each of those out. You want to be careful when you do this, make sure you're not bending the piece. Also, those tabs get very sharp, so it's really easy to cut your hand. So you want to make sure that you're careful and you don't do that. I've cut my hand on a half dozen of these models, so like I said, just be very careful. But I'm going to hurry up and go around and cut each of these out, and then we'll resume at that point. So there we have everything cut out, so let's get to building. So as I mentioned earlier, I anticipate this being a relatively easy model to build. For one, like I said, this is a wooden structure, and so you can see there's just a little bit more rigidity to it, so you're not going to get weird kinks in the track, and it just bends really, really nicely. Secondly, it's just 4 track pieces, and it's a simple out and back layout with nothing overlapping, and really only 2 turnarounds. No really super harsh bends outside of that. And on that turnaround is about the same size. In fact, they're both about the same size as a C-cell battery. So this is something that I would definitely have on hand. So the first step we're going to do here is going to be the lift hill and first drop. And so this is actually going to start here on the back edge of the base plate. There's just 2 longer tabs here that we can just kind of drop down into place. And once we have those 2 tabs in place, here at the end, we'll want to bend it around for the turnaround. So like I said, we'll use a C-cell battery here, so I'll just put that there and then kind of hold it in place and then wrap the track around it and drop this 3rd tab into place as well. And then underneath, there's going to be these tabs sticking out here. We're just simply going to want to bend those over to hold the track in place. And then we can take our C-cell battery again and just kind of put it in the end here and kind of push the track against it. Just make sure your shaping on there is just perfect. And so that's going to complete the first track piece. So the second track piece is going to be this series of airtime hills, and it's going to resume from where that last piece left off. So this one has 3 hills. You can see there's a longer one here that also has 3 smaller hills, and then a straight area, that's the brake run. That's actually going to be the last one. So this is going to be the piece with 3 hills. We're going to start with this tallest hill here, and we're going to put that just at the bottom of the first drop. There's a tab there, we'll drop into place. Then we'll just follow the track layout here on the base plate and drop each of these next few tabs down into place as well. And once again, we'll bend over the tabs underneath just to hold it into place. Here you'll see there's a few places where there's a couple tabs that are going to be next to each other. You'll actually want to bend the tab away from the other groove so that it's not in the way when we're trying to put the other piece into place. That's not always a problem on kits, but this one it does look like there's a couple areas where there's going to be some tabs really close to each other, so make sure you bend those away. But that's going to complete track piece number 2. So track piece number 3 is going to be this short piece here. This is going to be our other turnaround piece. So it has 2 tabs here of different lengths. So the one that's the shorter tab here is going to actually be closer to the piece we just did. So we can simply drop that down into place. As I mentioned before, this is about the same size down here also as a AAA battery, or as a C-cell battery. So we'll put the C-cell battery there once again, and then just kind of bend the track around it. Line up this other tab, and then make sure that they're both pressed all the way in, and then bend over the tabs underneath. And then once again, you can take the C-cell battery again after you put it into place and just drop it in there. Just press the track around it. Just make sure you get a really, really nice curve there on the turnaround. There's also a few places here that you'll want to check where the track meets up, just to make sure that everything looks like it's all bent just perfectly. And so that's going to complete track piece number 3. Now the final track piece is going to be this long piece here. So this here at the flat area is the brake run going into the station here. And so we can kind of start down there probably with a longer tab and just drop that into place. And then we'll have to do a little bit of pre-bending, just approximate where we need to go here, because otherwise the track pieces are going to overlap each other. But we'll line up each of these tabs here in place, do another pre-bend down at this end as well. And so there you can kind of see the track kind of in place. We'll now just want to line up each of these tabs once again, and then bend over the tabs underneath to hold it into place. And so that there is actually going to complete the track layout. Like I said, I anticipated this would be a really easy to model to build, and it definitely is. You can still go around and make sure everything, like I said, lines up just right. But the last 2 pieces you want to do here are going to be the station and the sign. This is the station. If you've seen any other Nano Coaster kit, they're all exactly the same. It's just this little house structure that will bend into shape. So we've just created a little house there. This is going to drop over the station area. One of the nice things that they do usually is they try to put the station over a seam, because seams are probably the roughest area of most kits. And so that's going to cover at least one of them. And then here's the sign, it goes right here in the middle. So we'll drop it into place, bend it backwards just a little bit, not a ton because there's track there in the way, and then bend over the tab underneath. And so that is the completed kit of Tornado from Adventureland. So if you've seen any of my other videos, you know that the last step I like to do is to add a felt bottom to the kit. So this adhesive felt is available from Amazon for about $9 for a 10-pack, so relatively cheap, and you can usually get multiple models out of it. You can see this is the piece that I used on Nopuko. There's still quite a bit left here. And so this already has adhesive built into it. And so I'll take the Nano Coaster here on the paper and just kind of line it up. I try to line it up with the straight edge as much as possible. This one doesn't have a lot or a super long straight edge, so we'll just kind of line this one up on the back. And then we'll take a pen and we'll trace around the rest of the kit. So there you can see we have our layout traced out. Then from there you just want to cut right inside of your line. You want the felt to be a little bit smaller than the actual base plate. The tabs don't go all the way to the edges, and so this way you don't have any hangover or anything like that. So like I said, we'll just kind of cut around just inside this and create our felt bottom for the coaster. So now that we have the felt cut out, it's time to put it on. So if you see on the bottom, like I said, there's these tabs here. They can scratch up the surface, they'll catch on things, so that's really what this is to cover up. The easiest way to install this is going to be to first peel away the paper backing on one of the ends here and just rip it away. And then we're gonna line up the coaster to kind of cover it. Now, this stuff is flexible, it's stretchable, and so you wanna be careful with it, especially on a narrow model like this. Just make sure you can get it lined up just right, because it's already bent a little bit out of shape from where it was previously. But once we have it lined up there, we can kind of just push down. Now we can come underneath and peel away the rest of it. I typically like to use the table edge to finish this. I don't know that I do on this one. Like I said, it's very narrow. So I'm just gonna kind of come down here on the bottom and just kind of line it up myself and then press it down into place. I'm not pressing down on the coaster. I don't want to bend the track here with the table at all. In fact, I'm kind of holding it up a little bit over it. But there we're gonna kind of push it into place and rub it around. Now if you look at the end, I do have some overhang, and so there we'll just kind of just take these scissors. Like I said, it does stretch, especially where it's really, really narrow. So I can just take the scissors and kind of cut around that edge and get rid of the little bit of overhang there. So that is going to complete the Tornado Nano Coaster model from Adventureland in Altoona, Iowa. Once again, this is available from the park for $34.99. Really easy to model to build, probably the easiest nano coaster I've ever put together out of anyone that's behind me. Still Vengeance was also relatively easy, but like I said, I think this may be the easiest one I've ever seen. So if you're looking for something very simple, easy, basic, this is probably a great place to start. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it's able to help you out. If you did like it, make sure you hit the thumbs up button. If you didn't like it, that's okay as well. If you want to see more videos like this with nano coasters, coaster cutouts, and other things coaster related, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching and have a great day.